Hello, everybody, and welcome back to OFSEA here today. It is going to be the grand finals for their League of Legends tournament, and today we got Team Bots versus Team Sion. That is going to be John McCrae here, and then I believe the other one is going to be one of these Quebec schools here.
Nope, it's a double John McCrae, so no matter what.
Oh, really? They're both from the same school?
They're both from the same school. So
oh, my goodness!
So in the grand finals, John McCrae, we have learned today here in the OFSEA Provincial Cup, that OFSEA... that John McCrae is absolutely cracked at League of Legends.
Apparently.
So first off, congrats on your victory for the school. However, we still have the team battle to actually be done here.
You got to assume that these two teams have played each other before.
I would imagine.
I would gotta assume it, right? I mean, from them both being in grand finals, they're probably two of the more top teams, I'd say, for the side of John McCrae. And now coming through with this one, it's going to be, their top two teams are most likely scrimming quite often up against each other. So it's very interesting to see, and they probably know each other's tricks and little things that they want to do.
Yeah, so I would not be surprised if we see a couple unconventional bans coming out for this game coming up, because they may have played something against each other that they don't want to deal with in the past that we may not have necessarily seen on the broadcast yet, but they know that, okay, we can't let them have this anyway.
They don't even need VOD.
Yeah, they just know.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it works out perfect here for both of these two schools, or not both these two schools, the school, it's
right?
John McCrae. So yeah, that's huge for John McCrae, just knowing that you've locked in a win here for yourself in this one, just knowing that you're guaranteed to come through as a school with a victory and a first and second place finish. So it's very nice to come into this game with that, but I still got to go with my favorite as Team Bots. From just what I've seen, it's just been too strong.
I mean, at the same time, though, the one time that we did see Team Sion, they were absolutely disgusting in their own right, so... yes, we just saw Team Bots pull off the 30 elimination flawless game, but at the same time, I'm not sleeping on this Team Sion squad, as we are going to see some picks going through already here. And for the bans, actually, before we even get there, the Evelyn ban, we've not seen that.
No,
at all.
That's
so
why
this
it makes you think.
Be something.
Yeah, it really does make you think. It must be something that, hey, we've played them before, and Evelyn screwed us. So we're gonna back our way out of that hole before we even get into it here now, with a quick little ban there. Some of more of these picks coming through here now, as we do see the side of Team Bots getting their third pick through as well. Why don't you break down this select here for us so far? As now we got 6 picks all through.
Oh
yeah, no worries. I got.
It's dying a little bit over here apparently. So anyway, so a couple of the picks coming through. So Tom Cadge. So we saw Team Bots use this fantastically in the last matchup as I'm not aggressive at all. I'm just here to set up the plays and save you from bad ones. And that was big help to what made them flawless, because every time somebody went low, the Tom just gobbled them up and threw them back into safety. So it was perfect. Sivir, safe pick here coming out as well for the AD carry side of things. And Dr. Mundo, because Alter finally got his Malphite actually banned from him, he has to play something different here in this one. So the Mundo going to be the pick this time by.
It makes me sad. It makes me done. I just found a new champ that I love, and it was so fun to watch, and it's going to get banned out. But for obvious reasons, it had too much value in that last game for the side of Team Bots. It was really just out of this world.
Yeah, because I know you're really, really liking the Nocturne, which unfortunately did get banned out as well. Team Sion may be saying that last game. It's you know what? Nope. We're going to make it so that Steve cannot have that Nocturne. Not this time. And a lot of very targeted bans too. We saw the Victor. Tot was fantastic on the Victor in this entire tournament so far. But in terms of picks, the Darius, the Echo, the Vayne, and the Soraka. First time we're seeing the Soraka and the Echo here in this event, at least on the streaming side of things. Echo able to dive on in, be tanky, but at the same time be bursty, depends on how you build them. And Soraka, she's basically your traditional laid-back healer, which is interesting. And then we do grab things up here for the side of Team Bots with the Rise pick, standard Battle Mage, and then the Volibear, which we did see to some effect. Jake had some good games, but I know the last one, unfortunately, just could not really get snowballed ahead. And last but not least, Annie, going to be the pick here for Sion. Saw us to some solid effects in, I believe it was the quarterfinals, where the Annie was able to get ahead, but nobody around her really got ahead either. Or at all. So when she went to go in and do the damage, she unfortunately got bursted. So it's a double protect your carries composition, I do feel like, because Vayne, very squishy, can be taken out very, very easily. Same thing with the Annie. The
Now-
Soraka's there for the heals, but is that going to be enough?
Yeah, that's a really big question, right? When you play a squishier lineup and a squishier comp, it will actually make you result into having to go over and actually make sure that you have healers. Make sure you have players that can support these players that are gushy and to help them out. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Team Bots is very tanky, I believe, right? Like, they have a lot of, you know,
Yes.
characters that have a lot of health into their name that are very, you know, maybe not as heavy hitting, but they're very slow, very tanky. They're going to play this one very methodical. If they get caught into a trap, they're going to have a hard time exiting out of it. However, if they're caught into a trap, they're probably just going to brawl it out just due to their tanking.
For the most part, you're completely correct, sir. Like from Tom Kench, Mundo, very, very tanky, low damage. The Volley Bear, tanky, could be belt sometimes kind of damage based, but oftentimes no, very tanky. The Rise, you give up like traditional burst mage power for innate tankiness, which is pretty good, but each of these characters pretty much have the same problem, which is mobility. And that is where the Sivir is actually going to be coming in greatly, because when you pop her ultimate, it's a battle cry that makes everybody just go supersonic, like extreme like movement speed. So that covers up for a massive weakness, a massive hole in this Team Bots lineup. Sivir herself, not necessarily like the super like hyper carry, but that utility that you carry with that ultimate is oftentimes enough that you can just outlast your opponent. That being said, though, with the Soraka, you're going to be having heals, so they're going to be trying to outlast you at the same time. It's going to be really reliant on, can you use that Sivir ult, pop it, get the Volley Bear, the Mundo, and the Rise to dive in on the Annie, on the Vayne. Can you get those eliminations? And if they dive on Sivir, Tom Kench, please save me. Like, cover us up so we can actually still have damage.
Yeah, Tom Kench is very good for saving people out of these ones, and he's going to be relied on a lot here for the set of Team Bots. And this one, they're going to be the first pick. They're very confident in wanting to take Tom Kench once again. It is going to be this game number 1, and actually our only game, because this is a best-of-1 grand finals.
One,
yeah,
yep.
OFSEA is going to be very interesting when it does come to that format. I like it, because it's very gritty. Like, it's like, you win or you're done. Like, it's your call, right? So it puts a lot of pressure on these teams, and it really makes them perform the best here in their first initial games. And Team Bots, it's going to be Team Sion looking to square it up here in Grand Finals.
And it allows, we kind of talked about it a little bit during the round robin phase of the day, but it also allows for team compositions that aren't cheesy, but might be out of the norm, to say the least. And maybe catch a team by surprise, and if you get it correctly the first time, then that's it. You've got it. So we'll have to see. Game on. This is your OFSEA Provincial Cup Grand Finals. Winner take all here today. Both of these teams have been basically flawless this entire tournament, but someone's line has to end here.
I mean, Team Bots has really been flawless. I mean, they're coming off of a 30-0 win here. I mean, like, that is doesn't got much more momentum based on that. Look at the team stack here right now from the side of Team Bots. They are looking to stack up together and maybe get aggressive towards an angle here early on, but doesn't look like that is going to be the case, as they are splitting up here now, going towards their respective lanes.
Yeah, they're thinking about like maybe making the move, but at the same time, like grouping up like that in this case, Team Sion, if they decided to get aggressive, you can just straight up like protect everybody by doing a brawl as a group of 5. But in this case, nobody going to opt for any sort of invade. And to be honest, this entire tournament we've seen like all teams just being like very respectful of each other's junglers. Like nobody's really rushing in and trying to like hinder them really that badly. So it's been interesting in that regard.
Yeah, it's really good, because I feel like when the collegiate games we cast sometimes, like, a lot of people are like, all right, let's just triple dive the jungle and, you know, do that. But it's not the case here so far in today's tournament. We might see things change up a little bit more when it does come to strats here in this one. As we were already mentioning, if you're just tuning in, Team Bots and Sion are both from the same school, both from John McCrae, both have potential of winning this championship here now. And, I mean, it's a lot of, I feel like more than anything for this one, it's now bragging rights. Walking down the halls of your school being like, oh, how's second place feel, buddy, or something like that, you know what I mean, right? So there's a lot of a lot of emphasis that comes with this match here now. But both these teams, they've definitely scrimmed each other before. There's no doubt in my mind that they have not practiced with each other before here, and it really is going to change this whole game, because these players are going to know exactly what they need to do to take down these opponents.
Okay, nice little extra level 2. And this is honestly for the side of Sion, from looking at their like solo queue ranks and whatnot. Right now, Cap is Reformed is the highest ranked person in this lobby. Is actually a Diamond 1. So honestly, like on par with, heck, some of the players that we have here on varsity. However, like, he may have the highest thing, but we've been seen in past matches where Cap would get ahead, and then I like the term that we use behind the scenes, but was basically entry fragging on Twitch, which does not work if you just die over and over again. So it was may have gotten ahead, but got extremely cocky. So now this is grand finals. Like, yes, you have a character that can definitely carry, can definitely perform, but can you keep yourself safe while doing it? We see some solid harass coming out here. Good use of the Silver Bolts to try and just keep shredding down that big tank. But as of right now, just shoving this wave right in, and with the level advantage, they're doing pretty solid.
Yeah, they're doing pretty solid here indeed. I mean, Sion, they're off to a good start when it does come to damage being inflicted as well. I mean, look at these two players, both down very, very weak, and a lot more damage being inflicted. We're actually going to see some engagements come through here now, but not a whole lot getting developed from around that tower positioning. It is going to be the top lane that we're actually sent up to here now, as we could see a little bit of an engagement over here as well between those two members, but it doesn't look like anything quite yet. It's just going to be farming up in the meantime, and right now it is going to be a little bit of a stronger farm so far for Sion, but no worries, because there's only, a couple hundred or like $100 separating these two teams.
Yeah, and Team Bots, it's going to rely a lot on can they get some jungle help down here, as we already see Sieved is here. No Nocturne this time by, but on the Volley Bear instead. Try and get some vision around this Crab. Gonna get stolen away from him, though, so some decent experience being taken away from him. A little bit of a slower level 5. But they have to be very, very careful not to just senselessly dive Cap and Jitty Johnny here down in this bot lane, because we've seen it earlier that this bot lane duo is completely willing to try and turn a 2v3 into their favor just because of the mechanical skill of Cap.
Yeah, and I think now you got to be a little bit more careful about taking these 2-on-3s and trying to turn them in your favor, because, yeah, you might have that skill gap, you might have that, upper hand over your opponents, but you're going to be playing a little bit stronger of a team here now that you know that you are in grand finals, so you got to watch yourself. It's really important to make sure that you do not overextend. We've been seeing great job from Team Bots. We were talking about it. They had a great opportunity to almost close out the game last time around, but they wanted to play it a little bit more safer and go back and retrieve that Baron and whatnot, and it works out in the end of the day for them, so I'm really looking to see that come through here once again for Team Bots to be very, very exciting, and we're actually to see a little bit of engagement come through from the top lane side. Some damage inflicted, no kills come through as of yet, though.
Yeah, we do see Steve is down there on the bot lane looking to try and make some assistance of some sort. However, with the lane being as pushed as it is, they're not going to be able to really get a gank on them very easily. And because I think, he did walk over a ward, we do see Seat and Amada right there on the Echo, maybe looking for a counter gank, maybe trying to bait Seeds a little bit. Actually, nope, there they go. If they can land a stun of some sort, this could be trouble. Trash but toxic. It's going to take the brunt of this one. Yais is pretty hurt as well, but with no real CC to come down, it's going to be safe so far. But here we go. The counter gank coming in. Sieved is here as well. First blood is going to go over to Tot Knife. Jitty Johnny going down too. You just got the Rise, a double kill to start things off. A fantastic play there from Team Bots, knowing where they needed the pressure, caught them overextending, punished.
Yeah, a great job there from Team Bots. They'll find those two initial frags here in this one. I don't even know if they're called frags. Is that a bad thing to do during League of Legends?
If you say it, I know what you mean, but,
All those viewers back at home, though. No, yeah, so the Dragon actually will be coming up here now. This is 2 kills to none for the side of Team Bots. The Dragon will also swing into their favor. So now, from the gold lead that was in favor of Sion just moments ago, has now swung in favor of Team Bots. They're up by 900 gold here now. They have the 2 kills to 0, and they have a little bit more map possession with that Dragon buff. We cannot forget about that. So now I'd say the cards are in favor here of Team Bots. They are off to a good start. It's a very slow one, and it's not very dominant. It's nothing crazy, but you're doing a great job here, just putting yourself in a little bit of an advantage over your opponent.
Now, a Rise that ends up getting fed is absolutely brutal to try and deal with in terms of damage, but unlike other mages that we may have seen so far in this broadcast, he's also basically unkillable. He's just so tanky and dishes out so much damage if he can get ahead. And by getting that Rise, getting Dot Knife, so much extra gold to start things off with, it's going to put poor Omar there in the mid lane up for quite the challenge. It might be even in regards to CS, but we can see even CS don't matter when there's the 2 kills there. 3.1k compared to the 2.5. So yes, still very early on. That's not going to make for the most gigantic of differences right now, But if that keeps snowballing, that could be a problem.
100%. So the top lane still pretty just back and forth. I mean, nobody's really finding their respective kills quite yet. It's going to be just a little bit of poke and come in, and we see a little bit of engagement here, just similar to that, and then just like that, he's going to fall off. So just getting some damage, falling off, making sure this top lane can't play too aggressive. And honestly, you're doing your job in the top lane. As long as you're just sitting there, the other person can't make it by you, you are doing your job. So good stuff there in that regard. And now a little bit of fights, actually, a little bit of action coming down through the midfield. It is going to be looking like Taut Knife will be finding Omar here now in this one. A lot of damage inflicted, but Taut Knife, he's actually going to be getting ran back on here now. And then the red buff is going to be called in to try to clean up Taut Knife as well, but it's not going to work out. And it does look like, oh, that stun's going to hurt. So this is interesting here, Dan. Anything could happen. We will get that initial kill, and he will get that red buff shortly after. So it will be another cleanup for the side of Team Bots. They will find their third kill, and a little bit more of a gold advantage here now by 1,000. And this is where Team Bots is really starting to find the rhythm.
Oh, do it. He dives in. Sure enough, there's going to be one. Can they end up finding the double here? Seaton Mata comes in clutch. Going to go one more shot. You might end up going down. Nope. Rewinds right back to safety as if you're Tracer from Overwatch. You're out of here nice and safe, and a beautiful cleanup. And now this fight just continues through the top lane as well. Alter nearly going down. Will end up going down. Forrest, we knew he had the aggression in him. We saw it in past matches. And it was like, okay, this is weird. Why is he so quiet? He's being really tame right now. There it is. That was the trigger. Went in, all in on the Mundo, and did get the kill. So a massive swing in momentum and in gold here going over to Team Sion as they just score themselves 3 eliminations in like a minute.
Yeah, they did a really great job of bouncing back in this one. Sion, they were down 3-0, right? They didn't have the buff. They were down by 1,000 gold plus, and now they're bounced back. They've gained the gold advantage for themselves. They're up by 600 here now. The tie on the kills. The only thing they don't really have that the side of Team Bots does have is that dragon buff, but a new dragon should be coming in a minute 45 here now. So that is when we will see potentially the side of Sion get positioned up fairly nicely to even up these buffs.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see the bot lane go back right here, right now. Sure enough, going to be the case. And looking forward to seeing what this Vayne does end up building. It's one of the few characters that I have like at least a rough idea, because like Vayne with her passive, the Silver Bolt, she just does like percentage health damage every time she lands a third attack on the same target. So you don't necessarily have to build damage. You can just build attack speed. And that does seem to be the way they're kind of going here with the Berserker's Greaves and then the bow right away. So not necessarily building damage, just going to be building speed, as well as a little bit of extra lifesteal. So the lifesteal, being able to heal yourself, plus Jitty Johnny right there with the Soraka being able to heal you. And all that should make for a very sustainable, very safe Vayne, as long as you don't get bursted completely. So we'll have to see moving forward, as the dragon fight will probably be getting ready to start getting up here in just a moment, as we do see mid lane, a little bit of a gank.
Yeah, a little bit of a gank towards mid lane here for the side of Sion here, and also it's actually going to be the same thing happening towards the spot lane, but it's just going to be a 2v2, but they got some minions with them, so it is going to get a lot of control now for the side of Sion, making this one closer and closer to the turret of Team Bots. The dragon will now be spawning in 20 seconds. Do we start to see some of our players making our way over towards that midfield? It does look like it.
Yeah, they're going to dive on through. I think that the side of Sion did get out of their AOK, but what about the mid lane? Not quite going to be the case. Beautiful lineup. Save the stun to lock him underneath the turret, and then boom, there's Echo. Beautiful wombo combo coming out here from Omar and Seats, and now this could, in theory, leave this dragon wide open. Received is right there, does have the smite, could try to pull the 50-50. They are the exact same level. Or do they opt for the team fight? Actually, they're backing right off, and it is going to be the dragon getting sent on over to the side of Sion, so each team with one piece.
It's very interesting to see how the game is now compared to what it looked like 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, this was 3-0, a 1,000 gold advantage, a buff, all for Team Bots here. They had everything going for themselves. But now Sion, they've answered back with 4 unanswered kills, a buff, and now regaining the gold advantage only by 500, 600. But from being down 1,000 to then regaining the advantage and putting it in your favor by a few hundred is definitely what you like to see here now. So Sion will start to get a little bit stronger here as a roster. And if you're going to be the side of Team Bots, you guys start getting a little bit more concerned about what the side of Sion can do.
Yeah, and really, like, looking at the lane comparisons when we had the gold graph up there for a second, the only real difference was in the jungle. As of right now, if you look at Sieved, just sitting underneath 4K gold total. That being said, though, if you look at the side of Sion, Seaton Tamada there, plus like 5,000 at this point, 5.2, and it's just from being basically Assassin Echo, and it's been playing that like to a T between getting as much gold based off of like minion kills and monster kills, but also making a massive impact in lanes as well, getting his team ahead and basically making it completely unsafe for team bots to sometimes even sit underneath their turret at certain points. So like the big difference to look out for, this Echo could very well still do a ton of damage. Looks like building like relatively damage based, so watch out if you're squishy. Granted, at the same time though, team bots don't have too many squishies.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we were talking about that in the pregame there, but oh my goodness, look at this team fight. That is going to be a kill going in favor of Team Bots here now, as they are going to be looking for more here. A lot of damage is dealt as everyone is hovering towards this turret. They scoop one in.
Wow.
That is going to be a kill there for Katanwana, and that is going to be Omar good for one as well. So 2 kills now going in favor of the side of Sion. 1 will get traded back for Team Bots, putting this now to a 6-5 scoreline here when it does come to the kills, and a tough position there for Team Bots. They did lose that fight there, and it's going to give Sion a lot of map control and a lot of presence.
I mean, that was a little bit messy. It did end up being the 2 for 2 because Seaton Tamada, after realizing that there was no going back, just straight up dove onto Yais and did find the elimination there. So at least took them down, and eventually they did find the rise as well. So, like, given the situation, that was probably the best case scenario there for like both teams, really. And this game is dead even as we now have ourselves a little bit of a skirmish up in the top lane.
Yeah, top lane is going to have an engagement here going for ourselves. It's going to be Sion trying to pull away, but teleporting out of there, that one, it's going to be Sion left for answers here now, as it is going to be Team Bots able to sneak away with their lives, but Team Bots is starting to get concerning for me a little bit here more now. I mean, yes, you got the even health, or sorry, the even gold, which is very, very good to see, but it looks like the side of Sion is just kind of like one step in front of them. It's kind of like the best way to say it for me. It feels like they're reading what the side of Team Bots is going to do, and just Sion is ahead of the curve.
I will agree with you, depending on how this next objective setup kind of goes, because like, I definitely like get how you feel. Like, it still feels like Sion has control, but it's more so just because of like the map positioning and the like the minion positioning right here, right now. This could very well get swung, as we do see Sieved looking for a gag, as that's going to be Ferris put in a very, very rough spot, diving on through. We've seen situations like this before, but unfortunately for Ferris, not going to be able to clutch out of this one. Elimination over to Alter on the Dr. Mundo.
Yep. Over 15 minutes through in this game here. Now it's going to be an even game still. I mean, very surprising. I mean, I've thought that, you know, both these teams were still very, very evenly matched coming into this grand finals, and it was going to be a great matchup. However, I did not think it was going to be as back and forth as it currently is, as it's now going to be 6-6 here. But look at that gank. That is going to be a TP out there just trying to make his way alive, but it is going to be so much of this utility coming down, slowed out here, getting chased down from several players. Very, very weak. He could make his way back to the turret, but no, not anymore. That stun will come through. The cleanup is there, and a kill lead will go in favor of the side of Team Bots here now.
Yeah, but unfortunately just kind of caught in a rough spot. But we do see maybe another gank coming out through the mid lane, as that was going to be Trash but Toxic looking for the dive on into that mid lane. Omar still hanging around. Did they have a stun available? Not quite. One away there. So not going to quite make the play just yet. Faris is down here, and you can see with 25 seconds left to go before this next dragon spawns. This is what is going to be like the trendsetter, I guess the storyteller of sorts here in this game, who can get this next one, because then they'll technically have themselves a little bit of a lead in regards to the objective side of things. But a big teleport coming in here from Tot Knife. They're going to dive on through. Jitty Johnny, the healer, is down.
Wow.
Cap, can you kite for your life? Not this time. You might be good, but unfortunately not quite 1v3 kind of good. Going to be taken down. And now with 2 players gone from the side of Sion, this could very well be a free dragon here for this side of Team Bots. Echo is still here though. Has the smite available. Or is a volley bear. It is in the pit. Yais is going to get instantly like just dunked on there from the side of Seaton Tamada, and sure enough, it's going to end up flipping on through. Omar's off to the side. What about the dragon? Is they going to get it? They sure enough are going to take care of this one. So what started off what looked like a solid attempt for the side of Team Bots ended up getting completely flipped on its head, and now Sion got the second dragon.
Yeah, Sion, they do have the second dragon, but the kills are now in favor of the side of Team Bots, and the Team Bot side does have a gold advantage, so it's really, I feel like more about pick your poison right now. Do you want this gold advantage with a little bit of a head start on your opponents when it does come to purchasing your abilities, or do you want this dragon? What's your call, Dan?
Oh, purchasing abilities. I know where you come from, but it's all good. Like, having the gold to be able to get those items just to kind of boost you up. If, like, the dragon successfully being taken for the second time by here does put the threat of a possible, like, Dragon Soul win objective. I know you probably heard me talk about it a couple times throughout the broadcast so far. But being able to just be like 2 dragons away compared to 3 does put a little bit of pressure on in the backgrounds. But yeah, if you can get this gold lead the way that Team Bots has, though, and they're able to pursue it, that's where you start seeing like snowballs pretty consistently happen. But I don't think this gold lead is enough of a gold lead that you can just like constantly go aggressive. Only 1K across the entire team is not that much in terms of statistics on your champions. So like it might as well be an even game, which in that case I would put Sion ahead due to the dragons.
Makes sense, makes sense. So we'll see what happens here now as we do see a little bit of an engagement coming through. It's actually just going to be channeling through the ground. I believe that is going to be some damage dealt. The slow coming through. Some good damage actually will land there. It's going to force the side of Jitty out of the sight, and it is going to now be side of Team Bots with a little bit more map control to work with here. This is inflicting so much damage. That like boomerang type ability there. It's going to fire away a ton of them, taking out the minions. It will get Jitty Johnny down super weak. And now this is where the push from the side of Team Bots is looking to go. If they can find the first turret here on their side of things, it can really even up the money for themselves to actually swing it back into their favor.
That's going to be the ultimate pop there from Cap. He's going to try and dive on in. Yais is going to pop as well. So it's going to be very fast. J Johnny nearly going down to that boomerang. Not quite going to end up falling, though. A big save coming here from Toxic. He's going to keep his teammate alive, and Cap gets absolutely dunked on. Gets perfectly baited. And now the rest of Team Bots came in for the cavalry. He takes it down. They should be able to take this bot turret as well. And then they're not going to lose mid because there's the teleport coming out from Tot Knife. What a play coming out from Team Bots to back up their bot laner. Big save from Trash but Toxic. Somehow getting out with his life as well. And holy smokes, what a play.
Yeah, holy smokes, indeed. Getting out this life is a major factor here now. And now you have a little bit more of a gold advantage for yourself if you are from the side of Team Bots here now as well. Of course, those kills. And you got 2 turrets to your name, which is very nice to see as well. So it is going to be a fairly good sight here. We do have another dragon coming in 2 minutes. And then when one of these is the Baron again here, Dan?
Yeah, so it'd be the purple one. We do have Baron Nashor is here just past that 20-minute mark. So the production doesn't roast me next time by. But yes, it is past the 20-minute mark. But might be too early to still try to think about that unless you can somehow sneak yourself an ace and then all in onto it. But you probably won't see that come into play, at least as of yet. Probably still just going to be based around your red and blue buffs and then the dragon when the time comes. But we'll have to see. The only turrets down are the red side middle and the red side bot. So top turret's still there. And looking at the blue side, I guess there's the blue side top gone as well. So some turrets are taken off the board, still keeping things relatively even. But if the red team are able to get those first 2... turrets in the mid and bot lane, this game is basically evened up on gold.
Yeah, it all comes down to just like one good play, and we're back to an even game. That's literally all it takes right now for Sion. But here's the thing: one good play for Team Bots, and this game spirals out of control. So there's really a tough way of looking at this one. You're in an awkward situation right now if you're Sion too. You need a big play to put yourself back into things, but you also don't want to risk that big play because if you lose it, I mean, that is very concerning here. So we do see a little bit of an engagement come down here. Now it's going to be some more damage still getting inflicted from the side of Team Bots, and immediately it's going to force Jitty Johnny right back up here now, not able to get that full complete farm.
And we can see Cap wants to get aggressive because he knows he's got the mechanical skill, but his mechanical skill is getting baited by this Team Bot squad, basically. They know he wants to go in, so they make it seem like it's a favorable fight, like maybe a 2-on-2 or like even a 1-on-2 at times. And then all of a sudden, there's the rest of the team, and he gets himself caught. Cap, we've seen this in the Twitch game as well, just needs the trust that his teammates are going to be there to tank for him. Granted, the only ones who's really tanky is going to be Forest, but you have your supports, you have your other damage dealers as well. Stand behind them. Don't be an entry fragger when you can be the cleanup crew.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So here we are. It looks like we could see a
Here we
big
go.
team fight coming through, and the stuns are landing. Several players now airborne here for this side of Team Bots. That is going to be a couple kills coming through. It is all going to be 3-4 down here right now for Team Bots. Only one player remains. It is going to be Alter trying to sneak away with his life, but it is not going to be easy. A lot of damage is getting dealt down, and he looks like he will be able to successfully make it out. But no worries, because now look, Sion, they can grab the dragon. They found 4 kills. They've immediately put themselves back into this game, and now with that dragon, this is scary, Dan, because they got 3 of them here.
Yeah, they got the 3 dragons, and that entire team fight all came down to the fact that Sion they just hit the gas right at the right possible opportunity. It was a 5-on-4 in their favor. Alter was still coming down from the top lane, was getting a flank on the rest of the team, but before he could get there, the engagement already started, and all of his teammates were basically eliminated before he even got into the team fight. That big tanky body that could be covering for Yized and Totknife and the rest of the squad was not quite there, and it did really cost them. That being said, though, it looks like they're going to be able to at least get a return kill of some sort here. Trash with Toxic going to be able to pick that one up in his own regard, so a little bit of extra gold back into the pocket there, but it is extremely scary now with a team fight that went that decisively, and now you're sitting on like Dragon Soul Point in 4 minutes. That is rough.
Yeah, it is rough indeed. It's making things very, very scary if you are from the side of Team Bots here. But this is still anybody's game,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
I mean, this is still a very, very close one. It's just the buffs are really big buff for Sion right now. It's really going to help them out in the long run of this one. So we do see everybody respawning back into the lobby here, and we are going to have a full 5-on-5 back in format here as we're approaching this 25-minute mark. And we're nearing the end, not the end of the game, where it starts to get really interesting, where these team fights start to come through a lot more frequently, and where things start to get a lot more gritty. So the Baron is getting spotted out here, and it's kind of getting scouted is my kind of term for it here right now. They're just trying to see what's good with it, and if they can actually go in and start it.
Yeah, the Farmville phase is basically over, so just a little bit more objective focused at this point in time. Again, now with these teams both being a little bit more well off in regards to the items they have, the littlest advantage could very well turn into Baron when the time comes, but you still need an advantage of some sort. To try and just sneak it would be absolutely risky. But we do see the side of Team Bots going up to that top lane, going to secure themselves that tower, so good job in that regards. All Tier 1 turrets are gone across this entire game. So nicely done from both teams there. Yep, that's definitely a thing as well. I'm looking into this this matchup, like especially with the top lane side of things. It was just pointed out. Alter compared to Faris has a more like in your face, I want to brawl kind of build. With Alter has a little bit more of an objective focused kind of build, and because he has that teleport summoner spell and Faris does not, Mundo doesn't necessarily have to be at the fight when it starts. He can just push that bottom lane. Like we see, he's killing off the minions, he's pushing it off. If the rest of his team want to go somewhere else and do something, it's completely a-okay as long as there's a ward or something nearby, because he could just teleport onto it as long as he's fast enough, and a situation like the last fight doesn't happen, where by the time he got there, everybody was already dead.
Yeah, so 25 kills into this game here, and it's a pretty even one. I mean, we got 3 towers down from each of these teams, sorry, 3 turrets down from each of these teams, and then we do have the same amount of gold for each of these teams pretty much here right now, and the only thing that's different is still these dragons. These dragons are always in the back of my mind that the Baron has been activated, and it is going to be Team Bots that are looking to steal it. If they can find the Baron, that'll put them at a severe advantage here now, I feel like, over the team of Sion.
Oh my god, they just sent it. We're going to see Siege is right there, does have the smite up. Both teams have their smite up. It is going to be secured, not even by the jungler. It's going to be Totknife that takes care of it. But the next engage is on the way. Siege is not going to be long for this world. That's going to be Cap that takes care of that one. The fight continues on. Trash with Toxic, going to get chopped. That's going to be the second one going over to Cap. So granted, yes, Team Bots did manage to get themselves the Baron, but at what cost? They're losing everybody for the most part here. They did end up with 2 eliminations, maybe a third. Yized is not going to be long for this world. First, that's going to be the Spell Shield, but you are no match for the axe. Nefarious going to take care of that one. So a little bit of a trade. They all end on the Baron. Granted, they got it, but they instantly could not convert off of it and lose the buff.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, right? Like, yeah, you get that Baron, but like,
this is actually really
cost?
bad. This is actually really bad now, too. With so many members down, Dragon is up in 15 seconds. If Sion really wanted to, they can back up right now and take the Dragon before Team Bots get themselves the opportunity to recuperate.
They
would get, yeah, they're setting up, too. They could absolutely get that Dragon Soul before Team Bots can do anything.
Yeah, if they get that Dragon Soul, that's going to be now 4 for themselves. They don't have the Baron, but 4 Dragons, would you say, like, is it kind of equal? Like, what do you prefer, a Baron or 4 Dragons?
I'd take the 4 Dragons because that buff doesn't expire.
True. That is very, very true. The Baron is only a limited amount of time here now, right? So,
oh, they're going to fight. Oh, never mind. That was an escape. But there it is. There it goes. 4th Dragon on there, and that is going to be the buff going over towards the side of Sion. They're going to have that for the entire game.
Yeah, now, the buff, what does it actually completely entail again here, just for anybody just tuning in at home or anybody just learning League here now? You know, the goal is to get the 4 Dragons. Obviously, any single Dragon each have its own individual buff, but when you group up 4 together, it has more of like a super buff. What does that entail?
It depends on what kind of soul we got too, and in this case here, it ended up being the blue Dragon Soul. So you remember how we were saying that this composition from the side of Sion, like, because they have healers and whatnot, they might be able to out-sustain if they can keep it safe. So this buff is going to do that tenfold. It also gives you regeneration towards, I believe it's your mana and your health. I could be corrected on this one. But it's going to make it so that the longer these team fights go, it just feels like you're not going to be able to kill Sion. So while being a more defensive buff, it does benefit like having these fights in the long run, and then being able to have a healer like Jitty Johnny there as well. It's just gonna make it so tough to actually like one-on-one some of these members.
Yeah, the regen is definitely going to be very, very big here now, as we still do see a lot of these main turrets are still up, though. That's what it's very interesting. Like, we have not made much progress despite being 30 minutes in. Do you think that this one is going to go for a very much aspect that you know, we're going to get to, like, you know, a certain point in the game where right now, like I was saying, there's still lots of turrets up for this team of Sion, but do you think it's going to get to a point in the game where the switch just flips and it's like all the turrets will just vanish in a matter of seconds?
It just takes one fight at this point here. I think this game could be won based off of just 2 team fights. One team fight is going to breach right into the inhibitor and like the inhibitor turret and get the inhibitor itself, and then the next one would seal the deal. That being said, though, if these team fights are not decisive, if it's just back and forth in trades, this could very well be like a ping pong match for a little while. So we'll have to see moving forward, but if Sion plays their cards right, I feel like they can take this one in 2 more. That being said, there's only like a 600 gold difference, so it's going to be basically an even 5-on-5 fight, with the only real outlier being that Dragon Soul.
Yeah, the Dragon Soul, though, as much as it's the only outlier, it's a big outlier. Like, it's definitely one that you got to keep an eye on. So here we go. We actually do see more dragons coming up, I believe, now in 3 minutes and 20 seconds or so. And it is going to be the side of Sion doing some poke here now, but realizing there's 4 players here. This is a dive. It is going to be the side of Team Bots coming in, making a commitment. That is going to be Jitty Johnny going down as the first kill coming through. And there's one traded right back, as it is going to be 2 members now falling from the side of Team Bots. This is getting very scary. 3 will fall. Sion will find 4 here on the side of Team Bots. This is looking beautiful to close this game out.
Yeah, that was some big damage, and that was decisive enough that this is at least going to be an inhibitor at this point here. Dr. Mundo, again, was not a part of that fight in the slightest. Had teleport up, but still could not find a way to get into that one. We're going to get one. Going to get the inhibitor as well. There is still some pretty long death timers here. Siege is going to be the first one into the game. Do they opt to try and go for more? We'll have to see moving forward here. They do have the regeneration from this Dragon Soul that is going to allow them to get there, and they have the ultimate from Soraka if they need some last-second healing from like downtown. It does not matter. So the 2 Nexus turrets are going down. We're right on the doorstep. The Provincial Cup Championships are on the line, and Nefarious is going to open things up with a fantastic frag. The Nexus is halfway down, and as of that, that is going to be Sion as your OFSEA Provincial Cup champions.
Sion coming through and making this game look very, very nice. It all started with those dragon buffs there, and one big team fight win is all it takes. We were talking about it. You were like, yeah, 2 team fights might be able to do it, but no, not even that. Just one.
It's like 1.5,
game out. Yeah, 1.5, and they were able to close it out as soon as they were. I think it was a really bold call as soon as they got down the Nexus there, or the inhibitors. When they wanted to go for the Nexus, it was a very big debate. I feel like mentally for them right there, it was a debate that you only have 5 seconds to think about, but it works out. They go for the commitment, and it works out. It is going to be Sion taking this one. They will be taking the game 1-0, and that is going to be the whole series. They're going to be your OFSEA champions here today, your League of Legends OFSEA champions. It is a very nice title to be holding for yourself. And like I was saying, both these teams being at the same school, John McCrae, that's a lot of bragging rights.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's a win for John McCrae to begin with, right? So, nonetheless, you finished 1-2 on the season. That is absolutely amazing. But for Sion specifically, I mean for both these teams, to be honest, they've played a fantastic series, a fantastic tournament. But Sion, just at the end, had a couple clutch moments and a good couple, strategic moments too. They played their offense at the right opportunities to not only capitalize on just the one team fight, but on the objectives. When they dove on in and got some eliminations, they got turrets. They got some eliminations, they got the dragon. They got the Baron. They found their opportunities. Or even when they didn't get the Baron, they punished the team bots hard enough to warrant the trade, basically. So they just absolutely did exactly what they needed to do, and a fantastic job in their right.
Yeah, Sion did a great job here. I cannot wait to see a lot of these students actually come in to compete maybe at St. Clair here as they do graduate through high school. A lot of these students are in grade 11 and 12, so they're approaching their senior years, and they are looking to make their way onto new ventures in the esports direction. And I'm very excited to follow your guys' paths here now. This is a great tournament today. Very, very strong players. I'm very excited to see how you guys go and continue here. And not just the scholastic or the high school League of Legends level, but more the collegiate level too. I'm very, very excited to see if we do see some of these players returning.
I mean, a couple of these players are grade 12 on the graduating side of things, right? So whether it be varsity for teams for themselves, or maybe looking towards an academy similar to what we have here at St. Clair, just continuing something, even an esports club alongside the collegiate side of things. We're happy that high schools are also just getting on board like this. And one thing that I did want to actually shout out is for any other schools out there that might be thinking about getting into the scholastic esports space here in Ontario, the OFSEA.org, I believe, is the website. They have an opportunity to sign up and get your school involved, and how to get your school involved in leagues like this one. So to bring esports to the high school level and just have opportunities like this. People that I know we're stereotyped as the people who kind of like to be quiet and keep to themselves or something. It's just that's not quite the case. We've just never had the right outlet. So give your high school that outlet with some high school esports.
Hey man, video game players can get pretty loud and rowdy sometimes if you give them the right assets.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, but I'm just
yeah, no, but that was once again, congratulations here to Sion tonight for John McCrae. They played a very well game. If you're going to be from Team Bots here, though, you cannot be beating yourself down too bad. It was a very good game in that series. If this was a best of 5, it could go anyway. If this was a best of 3, it could go anyway. I could see this side of Team Bots definitely picking up a map or two.
You can tell the nerves kind of got on right around that Baron play. So we were looking at the gold. I know we were talking about it a ton, but it was really emphasized in this last game because they didn't get towards the mid portion of that game. It was maybe a 1,000 gold gap at most, which is absolutely nothing. It was so even, and you can tell the side of Team Bots, it's wait, they're closer to the bottom side. Can we rush this? Can we rush this? And yes, they got it, but what did it cost you? It cost you basically everything. And then one last unfortunate team fight did not quite go in their favor, and it just kind of snowballed out of control. This very well could have gone a different way, but at the end of the day, it's going to be Sion out of John McCrae that are going to clutch up and make all the right decisions and get themselves a victory.
Yeah, and they are definitely very, very deserving of it. But it was a long day of us for League of Legends here, Dan. So it is going to be us slowly wrapping things up for this evening. What else do you got to talk about here for anything?
Just want to give a big thank you, of course, to OFSEA for having this opportunity, allowing us to broadcast this and show off the high school esports scene. It's something that I want to definitely take a much more deeper dive into, maybe going over the summer and something more league, maybe some Rocket League.
Yeah, I'd love to check out some more high school divisions and high school leagues like that. It always makes you want to go back and implement something in the high school that you came from as well and whatnot. But
it just takes one teacher, though. There needs to be somebody on board, and if you're that person, there was a website listed before. It was OFSEA.org. go there and look how you can get esports into your high school.
Exactly the case. But with that being said, we are going to be signing off here for this evening, I do believe. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name was Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside Dan Banner. Quick shout out to Kaylee Jappy as well, who was on the mic with us beforehand before she had to run. But it was a very good day here. We had a lot of League of Legends gameplay coming through. And thank you to Fresh, of course. He's waving at me. He wants a shout out.
Well,
right, Fresh is, of course.
The people in the production don't get any love.
And I know. The director's always behind the scenes. Not enough love. But thank you to Fresh as well. He's been here all day, in and out. He's one of the League of Legends players for the side of St. Clair's collegiate program as well. So nice to have him on the production side of things today, helping out with one of our League of Legends events for a high school program.
Absolutely.
It's very nice to see. But like I was saying, thank you to our production crew for today. Thank you to everybody who tuned into the stream. We had a very good numbers and a lot of supportive chatters. So thank you guys so much for coming and stopping by. But my name, Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside Dan Banner, and we'll catch you guys all on the next one.
Got the championship video.
there's so much to be gained out of gaming, jobs, community, like friendships. It is a beautiful thing, and NASEF is just trying to bring light to that.
In a certain sense, you kind of have to make your own career, and esports is one of the best places to do that. And the NASEF is one of the best organizations out there for bringing that to young people in a meaningful way.
Jacob, and now you're kind of a little bit of trouble, and
There's an esports club. It's good to take the opportunity, just have a lot of fun and see what you can do and reach your limits.